What do people fear? Non-existence. Not death, no. Having never existed in the first place. Think about it. Is there anything more terrifying than the idea that reality doesn't exist in any way, shape, or form, yourself included? Everything you love, non-existent. Every moral position you identify with as being greater than yourself, non-existent. God, the universe, atoms, all of it, non-existent. Of course that's terrifying. It means that everything you've ever cared about, agonized over, seen as beautiful, wanted, hoped, dreamed, fought for, suffered for, been victimized or hurt by, none of it is real. None of it could ever be real. If that were the case, it's the ultimate hopelessness, from which there is no escape. See, the fear of non-existence is the core fear. It's the one that every single other fear in existence is tethered to. It's the foundation for ego, why people feel they have to kill, hurt, or maim others in order to prove themselves right or others wrong, because of this intrinsic fear that they may not actually exist, or don't exist the correct way. It's what leads to wars, genocides, rape, religion, you name it. I must prove my existence. I must prove I'm right, that my perception of reality is clear and true, and everyone else who doesn't see it my way is wrong and false. I must prove my superiority, because if I don't, that nagging feeling that none of this is real starts coming back. Of course, none of this is real and you don't exist, except for the fact that you do. So, problem solved, right? No more core fear. Nothing else to prove, no one to be but who you are at this moment, because you exist and it's simple and obvious that you do. Unless, maybe you don't. But you totally do.
There's a short and interesting concept in psychology called fear of the unknown. What you don't know terrifies you more than what you do know. Let me walk you through a quick example. Suppose you are alone in your house at midnight and you hear a sharp clanking sound in the veranda outside. What thoughts engulf you immediately? Is it a thief? Is it a friend playing pranks on me? Or worse, is it a ghost? Of course your rational mind knows there's nothing like ghosts, but nonetheless a strange uneasy feeling impinges you in cold blood. Now that feeling is called fear. Fear of the unknown. Why did you fear? Because you didn't know what the heck was transpiring outside the door. You muster up your courage and you go out and a puny little dog is sitting at the corner. You call yourself stupid and sigh, relief courses through your body, almost like offloading a heavy burden. Why did this happen? Why did you sigh? Why did you felt relieved? Because now your mind registered something tangible. And as soon as this happened, it concluded there wasn't anything harmful and the resultant hormones that was so tightly jammed up because of your uneasiness were released in your body and hence the relief. Why do you fear while watching horror movies? Because it's a horror movie, right? We are supposed to fear. Wrong. There's a reason why directors of horror movies choose to just play around in the first half. Because the fear of the unknown grabs the viewer's mind when the doors open up on their own, when windows rattle, when curtains ripple. But as soon as you see the face of the ghost, the point where unknown is not unknown anymore, you don't fear as much and it even feels somewhat comedic. We fear because our future is unknown to us. You might fear your girlfriend might leave you when in fact you know she's loyal and honest. You might fear you'll flunk in your exams despite knowing you've done quite good. Why? Because your result is unknown at that point. And the mind fears the unknown, it's just wired that way. If you had already known your result, you won't fear it as much as you do now, despite knowing that it's negative. What you don't know terrifies you more than what you do know.
Being ostracized. People will commit genocides, gang rapes, etc. out of fear of being ostracized from their group. People would rather die than feeling like everybody they know and love has turned on them. The lack of any social safety net is terrifying. To the truly ostracized, an ingrown toenail can mean death. Even an inmate in solitary in a supermax has a community serving them. It's also why people who are shunned, excommunicated, or deemed as different go off to form other communities, join collectives, cults, and sometimes commit mass suicide under flawed, but charismatic leaders. Death is easier than feeling like, I have no place in this world. We can't live without other humans or feeling some sense of community. It's also why the teachings of inclusion are so successful across cultural spectrums. That fear of being ostracized makes us do batshit crazy things. Just look at some of our world leaders.
I think it is the fear of being unloved. Aside from our biological needs, our emotional needs are very important. We strive for acceptance, inclusion, understanding, and love. The prospect of losing those are frightening, and yet they are sacrificed for greater good.
Fear of failure. What if I fail? The human mind is eaten by every sort of what ifs. What if I fall? What if I lose? What if it goes wrong? Be it in our career or relationships in life, the fear of failure instills in us. And most of the times we let the fear of failure defeat us in pursuing and trying new things in life. We keep doubting what may happen and what not. Fear of failure is what holds us back. That's when we give up before we even start a journey.
I let my kids go. It is terrifying, but I do it anyway. I try to do it every single day. With my 3-year-old, it means letting him climb higher than is comfortable, jump off walls and down flights of stairs, and carry delicate objects that would break if dropped. He is learning control of his body, and I need to trust his judgment and let him learn from his own mistakes. I remind myself that even if he hurts himself, it's not going to be a total disaster. He can pick himself back up again, and we never let him do anything truly dangerous. With my 7-year-old, it's more about giving her the independence to take short trips to the store on her own, babysit her brother, or play at a park for short periods of time where there is no adult supervision. I still get nervous, and I check in with her regularly, but she needs and deserves her independence. If I don't give her training and practice now, then she will have a harder time learning these skills when she really needs them later in life. Just as my kids learn to face their fears, I face my own. It's scary, but totally worth it.
I wasted years of my life waiting for some fears to magically disappear. My dad helped me realize that fears never quit, that avoiding my fears is not the way to go. Son, he said once, if you expect to stop feeling afraid, you will wait forever. I felt powerless, so I asked, if they don't go away, then how can we overcome fear? I'll never forget his words. Being courageous doesn't mean you will never feel afraid, that's the wrong idea of courage, he said. So if I feel fear, it doesn't mean I'm a coward. My dad laughed and said, no, not at all. The true definition of courage is simply not allowing fear to stop you from moving forward. I sat there thinking about his lesson. He continued. Courage is not a feeling, courage is a decision not to be controlled by the feelings of fear. Ultimately, it was acting with faith and intentional actions that helped me make that decision and live by it. I fight my fears daily, and I'm glad I do because fears would destroy my life. Keep moving forward.
For me at this moment in my life, what I fear the most is not disease or the loss of a loved one. I fear not becoming the person that I think I'm supposed to be and the person I want to be. At times, they are the same, and at other times they don't coincide. The fluid nature of the differences between being, becoming and expecting to be create a form of anxiety rooted in fear. This fear can include not being the husband, father, leader, professional, son, community leader, or the person who consistently stands up against injustice. A person that I believe I am, want to be, others expect me to be or am supposed to be. In the end, I understand that we just need to be. Here today and in the moment, regardless. This is the fear that creeps up unexpectedly from time to time.
Because you're hardwired for it. We all are. We have fear of the dark wired into our brains. Our ancestors who weren't afraid of the dark didn't live long. Fear of the dark kept us alive. Fortunately, you belong to a technological species in a post-industrial society. There's a simple solution: night lights. I'm serious. Night lights are sanity savers. They reduce stress. You're not alone in this. Save yourself a lot of tears and the possibility of heart disease in the future. Night lights.
Thank you so much for watching and listening to this video. If you enjoyed this video, do like and subscribe and watch the other videos on this playlist. Have an absolutely amazing day today, friend, and I will see you on the next one.